All right. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. Today we are receiving a very special guest. It's Fabiola Spertudo. So she's going to let us know more about what she's doing, her business, and everything. So without further ado, I'm going to add her on the live, and hopefully everybody's gonna have a great time. How are you doing today?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's so nice to meet finally.
Yes, yes. Very excited to be here today. Thank you for the opportunity to chat with me. It's very exciting.
I'm very excited as well. So we're gonna dive right in. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Fabiola Spertudo, but everybody calls me Fabi. I am the founder of Fields and Flow, and Fields and Flow is a mentorship and mindset program designed specifically for young female student athletes. I'm originally from Haiti, and I was born and raised there. I moved to South Florida, I want to say 20 years ago. And I have my master's in education from Florida International University, and I have my MBA from FAU. And I spent almost a decade at Florida Atlantic University as an advisor, then later on a program manager. So working closely with their graduate students and advising them, mentoring them. And yeah, that's a little bit about me, basically.
Thanks so much for sharing. Next question. What inspired you to start your own business?
So, Fields and Flow, the inspiration for that was definitely drawn from my time at FAU. I worked closely with students, as I mentioned earlier, as they navigated, athletics, academics, and everything in between. But it's at FAU that I started working closely with the sport MBA students, so student athletes. And I quickly discovered that I fell in love with helping them because they have more challenges than a traditional student has. The pressures to perform, to win, pressures to please their coach and their families, also adding in the grades and all that stuff into it. And so I wanted to create a space for them where they felt seen and empowered and heard. And Fields and Flow is the vision. That's born from that work at FAU essentially.
And I think like Field and Flow is such an original name, so I was kind of wondering where the name came from.
Thank you, thank you. Fields and Flow is actually inspired by sacred imagery, so from the Bible. And so, Fields and Flow, if you're thinking about the symbolism of the promised land, so it's the land flowing with milk and honey. It's what I would want to be for the students, a place of abundance, of peace and purpose. And it's also a symbol from drawn from the story of Rehoboth, also in the Bible, and that means wide open space. So when you think of it in that way, it's a space where it symbolizes freedom and expansion. And for a student athlete, I'm not sure how familiar you are with their lifestyle. It's
Mhm.
very crowded, it's very competitive and chaotic. And so Fields and Flow symbolizes that space where they can come together and be themselves, where they can heal, they can grow, they can thrive, essentially. So
Awesome.
that's where the name came
That's
from.
amazing. Okay, great. And I know you mentioned Field and Flow, you mentioned female athlete, and I know you reside in Florida. So I wanted to ask you, is there is it only a program for people who live in Florida or anybody anywhere can join?
Anybody, anywhere. It's a national movement. The program is fully online. We provide support to women in New York and all the way up to California if needs be. So it's definitely something that I wanted to be very flexible. So we work with any student athlete as long as they are willing to put in the work to be focusing on their mindset, on their confidence, on their preparation for life after the game. And so catering to that cannot be just limited to one physical space. It has to be through the online platform. And so, we're navigating different time zones and whatnot, but it's been working really well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And would you mind share with us some of the challenges that you encountered at the beginning when you just started?
So definitely a lot of challenges. I think for most entrepreneurs, at least for myself, I could say that the biggest and the first hurdle is obviously self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So overcoming that was challenging, but I definitely would say if you're driven by something, if you're passionate, like you're mission driven, you can't sleep, you're constantly thinking about it. You just have to be vulnerable and put it out there. And I would say that's what I had to do to launch Fields and Flow. So that was the biggest hurdle. But other challenges involve, if you're launching a new business, you have to wear many hats. And so doing everything from like curriculum designing to navigating technology, which I am not a tech person at all. So learning all those things, making sure that we test the platforms, that we're instructing the students in the correct way, all the way down to the marketing. So it's definitely, a lot of hands in like navigating different pots and whatnot, but it's very rewarding. I would say that many entrepreneurs face this on the day to day. You have to get involved in everything, roll up your sleeves, and just get it done.
So you spoke about the challenges, all right, of them. Right now, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment today? What's the thing like you the most proud among all of this turmoil, and then now we're here today?
I would say launching Fuels and Flow is probably my proudest accomplishment because, as I said, it's a passion for me to work with these students and want to help them and to basically guide them to becoming the women that I know that they can become. And so, actually taking that vision and putting in the work, and now it's a live, breathing, fully operational program. Like we've enrolled students, they're actually in the program, they're engaging with each other. We're building a community. And so for me, that is like the most incredible and powerful thing I've ever done in my life.
It's
So,
amazing. So
yeah.
happy and so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now that you're more settled down and people start, getting to know the company and everything,
Mhm.
can you share what's the best compliment you ever received so far?
The best compliment would have to be, oh my God, it's definitely very powerful for me.
Hmm.
Um, but I had a student say, um, it was something along the lines of, Fabi, thank you so much for believing in me so much that I started to believe in myself. And that was really touching for me because she's amazing. Like, she was an excellent student academically, a great athlete, a hard worker, had a job lined up after graduation. And so basically, on paper, she checked off all those boxes,
Hmm.
but she still had that self-doubt and that lack of confidence. So when she said that to me, I was so moved because I'm like, you're finally seeing yourself the way that I see
I
you.
see you.
And for me, I think it's definitely the reason why I do what I do. Like something like that will stay with me forever. Like I'm so honored to have been part of her journey because I want to help them, and then to hear something like that, like she saw her power. You know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah.
owning that power now. It's incredibly rewarding and fulfilling.
And I also think, especially with the age group that you're working with, it's such a
Yes.
sensitive stage in life because it's literally determine how you're gonna shape your life. So I think it's really amazing what you're doing.
Thank you, thank you. And you're so right because that I work with 18 to 26 year olds, and going into the university is such a big transition. Being away from your family and then navigating through all that by yourself, but more importantly, deciding like what you're going to do after. That's a big transition when you're at the end of your program, and then you have to like grow up and find a real
Mhm.
job or decide to pursue your sport and try to make it all the way and whatnot. So it's definitely a sensitive age for them, but we're here every step of the way trying to make it a little bit smoother for them.
That's so great. It's amazing. And what is something that people tend to misunderstand about what you do?
So from the conversations I've had, what I see that most people think of Fuels and Flow, like from the get-go, is they
Mm-hmm.
think that it's just a course. That it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you take this course and then after 90 days, you just file it away and you're done. That's really not what we're about. So Fuels and Flow is more than just like surface motivation. It's a year-long program, and it is divided in two phases. So there is a course, and the course is 90 days. But in that course, the girls have to learn all of the resources and tools that we provide to them. So resources to help them with their mindset, resources to help them build their confidence, resources to help them shape their identity because they're so wrapped up in their sport. We work on energy and time management. We work on career planning. And so all of these things, they implement that within that 90 days. And then we work with them for the rest of the year to keep them accountable. Are you doing this? How are you applying this? Like, how can we help you so that you're maximizing your experience in Fuels and Flow? And also, after the 90 days, we are still giving them access to live coaching calls where they can come in and ask questions. Like, we support them through all of the different challenges that they're facing, and we have guest speakers that are coming to talk about a particular topic, like a guest expert. So a career coach or a leadership coach or a mindset expert, and so they're exposed to all of that. And so I think at the beginning when people say, oh, you have a program and it's designed for athletes, they think it's just a course and then you take it this semester and it's over. That's really not what we're about. So we're about building community, we're about supporting young women and making sure that they stay accountable after they've acquired those resources and tools that will hopefully empower them to become those leaders that we know they can become.
Thanks so much for sharing. And next question is a bit personal, like you said at the beginning, a lot of people might not know that you're Haitian, but you are.
Yes,
So, and we have a very special culture. So I
yes.
wanted to ask you, how how is your parent describing what you do currently?
I don't think they can describe it as well as I could describe it, but I think they will be the type of people that will say, "Oh, it's a course, and she works with female athletes. She's helping them. She's helping them." So basically, like I think what my mom was saying, like she's like a coach. She's there for them all the time. They call her whenever they need something, and she's there to help them fix it. And that's the way I would describe what my mom says I do, which I do, but
Mhm.
it's hilarious the way she just says, like, yeah, they call her all the time and they tell her what they need and she fixes it and she finds solutions. So I guess in a nutshell, I'll take that.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, next question. If you could go back in time and talk to your 18 years old self, what would you tell her? And I like to ask that question a lot because it's amazing how, growing up, we have that own perception of us in our life and the thing that we project and the way other people see us and what's going on in our head. And the answers are always amazing. So I like to ask that one. So if you could go back in high school, So what would you tell your 18 years old self?
That's a really good question. I think I would tell my 18-year-old self, you're not too sensitive. You're not too dramatic. I think I would tell her that caring for people and seeing people the way that you know that you do is like a superpower. That you're wanting to care about people is a superpower, and it's going to lead you to your purpose. And
Mm.
so, um, I would tell that to my 18-year-old self because at the time I was involved in a lot of things, a lot of philanthropy, a lot of helping others. And that's not necessarily the cool thing to do at that age, but I was super into it. And so now looking back, it has shaped me into the woman that I am. So I'm very grateful for that. Another piece of advice I would give myself is take a deep breath, like
Mhm.
relax, like
Slow
it's gonna
down.
be okay, it's gonna work out. I tend to be a planner and want everything to go
Mhm.
exactly one way. And so kind of letting go of that, trusting the process and just showing up essentially. Just keep believing that you can do what you're doing. And I think for me too, again, part of being that planner is like I'll sometimes get upset when I used to get upset when things didn't go my way. So I would tell my 18-year-old self, like, embrace the detour. Like
Yeah.
it's all part of the journey. It's gonna help you, develop some skills that you didn't know that you had. And so I would tell her, take your time, embrace the challenges and the detours that are gonna come your way because that's
Don't
gonna
have
help
it all
mold
figured out.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And Fabi, where do you see yourself in a couple of years?
Ooh, in a couple of years, that's interesting. I definitely see Feels and Flow growing more.
Mhm.
So that is something that I'm very passionate about. I want to see that through. I would love to see Feels and Flow grow into a national movement where we are partnering with universities, where we're collaborating with athletic departments and organizations that support young women so that we can hopefully support thousands and thousands of young women across the country and hopefully later on in the world. But in a few years across the country, and then hopefully the Feels and Flow will continue to grow so that we can have like live workshops and
Mm.
retreats and things of that sort, where we're creating spaces where these young women can feel safe to like share how they're feeling, what they're going through, and then get support from other women because we're all about building those communities.
Mhm.
And to me, one of the most powerful things that I like to say to my students is that empowered women empower women.
Men.
And so if we empower students that will later on help empower other women, we're building like a new culture, a new movement. And so that's what I would want for Fields and Flow to be in a couple of years.
Well, I'm here. I'm embracing your vision and I'm supporting you. And, I admire everybody who had the courage to take that lead of faith, leave the 9 to 5 and
Yes,
start their own thing. So, I'm rooting for you and,
thank you. Thank
praying that everything goes well.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I
And
appreciate it.
you're so welcome. And what advice would you give to anyone who, like you, would like to embrace that road of entrepreneurship?
Ooh, advice I would give another entrepreneur. I would say just do it. Like take that leap of faith and then just do it because if you are waiting to be ready, you're never going to be ready. If you're
That's
waiting
true.
to have a perfect plan, you're waiting for everything to align, the perfect time, that
Never
will never
happening.
happen. So I think it's important to just embrace the discomfort. I was scared when I did this. I did it scared. So do it scared, do it uncomfortable, do it nervous.
But
You
just
just
do
have
it.
to take it. Just do it. And so my my number one advice would probably be like be bold and then just execute on that. Um other advice is just stay consistent
Mm-hmm.
because you have so much that you have to do every day, which we talked about earlier. There's so many things involved when you're launching your business, or you're wanting it to grow. But staying consistent will help you, because there will be, in my opinion, there will be incredible days, like days where you're just like winning. Like everything goes right. Like you got the contract, you made the sale, the customer is happy, whatever. But there will also be really, really bad days. And I don't know if you've ever heard about Murphy's Law,
Mm-hmm.
but Murphy's Law is anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Go
So
wrong.
the technology's broken, like you can't sign up this, the person dropped, whatever it may be. Only through consistency
Mm-hmm.
can you keep your head above water. So you have to just keep doing things, whether it's a great day or whether it's not such a great day. Like when you're tired, you're stressed, like I don't feel like it, you still have to show up every day and do your part. So I think staying consistent and planting those seeds, that will help your business grow. That will build that momentum for you so that it takes off if you're in that stage of your life. um and I would also say, like, be very patient
Yeah.
because things take time. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep watering that seed and waiting for it to grow, nourishing it, because nothing is ever going to be like an overnight success, so it takes time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also give yourself some grace, because a lot of
Yes.
time we don't
Yes.
give ourselves enough credit because we're out here pushing, pushing, pushing. And then
Yes.
other people looking at us is like, oh my gosh, but you're doing great. Like, why are you so hard? And I'm talking
Yes.
from personal experience, because, you have these goals and you want to meet this
Mhm.
deadline. And then you go crazy in your head, and it's all
Yes.
the overthinking and the over absorbing situation. Sometimes it's good to take some time, give
Yeah.
ourselves grace,
Mm-hmm.
and take ourselves out of ourselves and like, okay, so,
Yeah.
I did this.
Yes.
Yeah,
And celebrating those wins. So to add what you were
exactly.
saying, it's so important to acknowledge your accomplishment, whether it's big or small, whether it's like I'm doing an Instagram live right now,
Bye
or
for the first time.
for the first time, that's a big thing. We
And
have
it's
to
the first
celebrate
of
that.
many. I'm calling
Yes.
it.
Thank you for manifesting that. But yeah, it's super important. And I tell my students all the time, at every live coaching call, the first thing we do is like, what are some of the wins that we're celebrating this week? Because you really need to take the time to do that and acknowledge your hard work, or acknowledge, the effort that you put into accomplishing that particular goal, or, making that win. So super important.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone would like to connect with you after this, or any student would like to join you, would you mind share where it can be reach out, where they can connect
Um,
with you?
Yeah, they can send me a direct message on Instagram. I feel like that's where most of my student athletes come from anyways, on that platform. So I can share my handle in the chat, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and then of course you can always reach out to me by email, and that email is info@fieldsandflow.com, which we can also share with them in the chat as well.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And I think Pascal put a comment. She said, Bravo, Fabi. I don't know if you were able
Oh,
to see it. So,
thank you, thank you, thank you.
congratulations once again. And
Yes.
I don't know if you have any last word, anything you would like to share before we end.
Last words would be, follow your dreams, keep pushing, show up every day, because it's so important to hone in on those skills and develop those good habits to, you show up for yourself and give 100%. And I definitely am excited to see and hear more from student athletes. So please feel free to reach out to me, connect with me. I look forward to supporting you and championing all of your goals. Yeah,
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, Fabi, for taking the time out of
absolutely.
your busy schedule to be here today with
Thank
us.
you for having me. I'm so excited. This was a pleasure. And thank you for being such a great host and helping me in my first Insta live. It was really,
Well,
really fun.
it was fun. It was fun to prepare it anytime. And
Yes.
that's it. That's all I had today for you guys. And
Thank you.
can't wait to meet you for another episode of Conversation with Joe. So I will see you soon. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.